So why did I choose to work at a grocery store at the age of 60? Hello, I'm Leslie, and this is my crazy story. So back in 2023, I had been looking for a job. Oh my gosh, a full-time. I had been working and am still working as a psychology professor. And I love that, but I entered that genre too late to be tenured, to get full-time, to get benefits, anything like that. So while I still do that, and I love teaching, it is kind of my passion. It wasn't enough to sustain me full-time. So back in 2023, I had been putting in resume after resume after resume. And as you can imagine, no one was hiring someone over 60. And yes, let's call it what it is, age discrimination. They either want somebody young or someone, a little less seasoned than me. And I have some great experience. I have a bachelor's of science in interior design from the University of Cincinnati, and I worked for years as a facilities manager at a very large financial institution. And my job was eliminated after 16 years of service at that company. And so after that, I got my master's degree in psychology. And so that's what led to the teaching gig. But little did I know that that probably wasn't enough for me to do much of anything except teach, which I do love. So I can't tell you how frustrating it is as someone with all this experience to not even get a callback or a response from all these resumes I sent out. And it's very frustrating. And I completely understand someone who has been looking for a job aligned with what they do and not able to find it. And so I thought in the back of my mind, I can always work at a grocery store. It was kind of a joke at first, but then not so much. So I applied somewhere, just thinking this will be something temporary to get me through, and I can get some health insurance since I didn't have health insurance because I wasn't working full-time as a psychology professor. And so I took this job at this grocery store. And at first, it was very grueling, and I wasn't really making much of anything. But I liked the people. I started, believe this or not, in the dairy department, which was very physically demanding, which I had no idea. But I got a great workout every day working in that dairy cooler, and I got some great experience. And the best part about this job is that the people I work with are kind, and I have a lot of friends there that I wouldn't have had I not worked there. And so to make a long story short, I worked my way up over the course of 3 years to a much better position, and one that I really love now. And I work with a great group of people, and I have insurance, and my hours aren't bad. I work from like 7 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. And I must tell you, there is something to be said for having a job that you don't take home at night, for having a job that you don't have to be stressing about, because once you leave, you're done. You do not take this job home with you. You have the satisfaction of, I worry about it when I'm there, and when I'm not there, I don't worry about it. And so has it required some downsizing in the way I live? Yes. I have had to simplify things in my life to accommodate for not making as much money. But I'm okay with that. I actually like what I do. I work 40 hours a week at this job, and I'll get into more details of what I do there in another video, but here's to say I'm what they call status 1, which is I'm guaranteed 40 hours a week. My job, the hardest part is it requires a lot of walking. And so I pretty much get my steps in every day. And I work with some really nice people. And yes, there are a lot of young kids there who may not care about the job as much as some of us older people do. But there's also a lot of people my age who have worked there a very long time and who have some great experience. So overall, I have had a very positive experience doing this type of work. And I find it satisfying that I have somewhere to go every day. I have full-time benefits. I get my vacation. I get, a lot of the mental health benefits. I have dental. I have vision. That's something to be said for this type of job. So I just wanted to encourage anyone who is in their 60s looking for a job. Don't discount the retail world. You may have to put a couple years in to get where you want to be and to get to a position that's more aligned with really a little more low key. But you'll eventually get there like I did. So that's my story. And we'll get into more of some ways that I've simplified my life, including living with my ex-husband, believe it or not, which I did more for my child, to support my child through some very difficult times. So that's my story, and I'm proud of where I am. I'd love to know your story. If you are an older person looking for a job, it's tough out there. Until later, that's my story.